Reese is still in his marriage bubble, and we have challenges everywhere. Hi guys, welcome back to Casting Commons, the show where we talk and discuss all things Pauper. I am your host, Teasdale, and this is my co-host, the Vivisurgeon Insight himself, Callie.
Hi.
Let's go. How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm going to power through, pump it up. I was a little disappointed having to garbage one of my decks that I just got signed cards for, but that's okay. When I was at the MagicCon in Atlanta, I got High Tide signed by the original artist, which was sweet. And then I completely forgot to get my Ponders signed by Bosch and Roll. That was a mistake.
Sure, there'll be another
So
opportunity.
my Ponders will still go in my other decks. I just managed to trophy with a lot of cantrips and familiars. So we'll keep working on that one.
Before we start, do not forget to support us by rating us 5 stars on Spotify, as well as follow us on Twitter, and of course, subscribing to us on YouTube, as well as Callie. Don't forget to do that as well. But let's be honest,
Yeah,
probably already do.
how have you been?
I'm good. Not so bad. Had my son's second birthday at the weekend, so I am very exhausted from looking after small, running around, crazy children. So, other than that, I'm good. Very good.
In the UK, do they do the cake smash for the first birthday and stuff like that?
The what?
In America, because everything has to be about cake, on your first birthday, they just give the child a large piece of cake and they just watch them smash it into their face. And like, because they like never really eaten cake by themselves and they're just excited and they're just like go crazy on it.
I think so. I think that's sort of, yeah, like, I think they're normally, though, I'm sure people do like a photo shoot sort of thing with it. And like watch them smash cakes and they get nice photos and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever, seen people leave a, child with a cake and just let them, you know what I mean? Like dive bomb into the cake.
That would be really funny.
Come up with a giant like sugar rush. But yeah, no.
Yeah, that's always a problem.
But yeah, it was good fun. You obviously this week, I guess we've also got Avatar coming out, right? In terms of Magic Online, you can already play it in paper as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how like
paper players already were able to play it. They changed the rules so that as soon as you have the physical card in your hand, it's legal. So this weekend, we had maybe some paper events. I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary. We saw one player from Japan using some of the cards.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens this coming week. It'll be legal on Magic Online on Tuesday afternoon. They switch over the leagues, and then you have to fill it up to 32 players. So it always takes like 4 or 5 hours. So I won't probably be recording anything with Avatar until like maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, to be fair, but I might be a bit biased due to having, lesson cards in there, and the deck I like to play has learn cards already in it. But
yeah, I'll be excited to try a couple of them. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess for a sort of tangent to that, for what's coming up next week with Mogwarts getting some lesson cards, which is what I'm excited about, and obviously the sad news that Callie has lost his right arm. I mean, High Tide, or whatever you want to call it. It's sort of the same thing. We're going to sort of touch on like a Pauper Thought of the Week, where we'll kind of go over forgotten / not really played combo decks, for just to highlight them to people that might not know they exist, because some of them are very, very niche. And then also, they can check out Callie's videos on them probably, and maybe look to learn these if they're sort of get them excited to play them. I think sounds about right. I'm not going to spend too much time because news-wise there has been like 7 challenges this week, so we're going to sort of talk about them as well. So I'm going to spend too much time.
It was a little out of the ordinary for this week.
Yeah,
Magic Online did like a Pauper promo week, I guess you would call it. They had something called a Pauper Championship Week.
Yes.
Which basically gave Luffy millions of tickets.
They need to thank Luffy and Discover Ends sometimes for, here you go, thanks for grinding on Magic Online, here, have some more. That's about it, right? So we'll start off with a couple of decks. The two that I want to highlight first of all were probably ones that I play the most that I've sort of forgotten, which is quite weird because they're actually probably the newest on this list. Is the backup combo, which is the Hanger Scrounger, I think it's called, and the Seeker Skybreaker.
Seeker of Skybreak and Hanger Scrounger, I believe.
Yeah. And essentially what that is Seeker has this, or Skybreaker, whatever you want to call it, has this word. It's like really old word, and so it can untap itself. It's untap target creature, so it can untap itself. And the Hanger Scrounger gives backup 1, and it says whenever the creature's tapped, discard a card, draw a card. So you can give that to the Seeker, and you can untap itself infinite amount of times. You discard a card and draw a card. So you draw your whole entire deck and discard your entire deck if you really want. And you generally win by, most of the time, it's Lot Left Giant Dread Return by discarding them and drawing to your deck.
Right. I actually covered that on a video recently. The other win condition in the deck that I played was a Fist of Flame, which was pretty cool, attacking for like 45. And then another player messaged me a list. It was basically just like sort of Wall's Spy, but instead of playing the Spy package, it was playing the backup combo package, and then you kind of just like draw your deck into doing something huge.
All right.
Which is cool because if you're drawing your deck and then you don't have very many cards in hand, you hit your Beast Rider Vanguard or something, and then you fill back up your hand.
All right.
More cards to discard. It's a neat idea.
Interesting, for sure.
I was just thinking, hey, I mean, is this a worse version of Wall Spy? I'm not sure. Maybe not. If it doesn't use the graveyard quite as much, it won't be.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, I think so. Again, we're not going to touch too much on them. We're not going to say anything really too exciting about them, unless we obviously. But no,
we can be excited.
Yeah, what I mean is, I'm not going to sit here and spend 20 minutes talking about it. But go on, next one.
I got something for you. You've played backup combo before, right?
Yes.
So do you have any good memories, like what your favorite turn was that you did?
I remember I just ended up, I think I just comboed off, and weirdly enough, one of my favourite turns I did was actually dying. I ended up losing because it was something to do with, it doesn't work on like odd and even if something's on the bottom right. It gets.
Right. If Fist of Flame is your last card, you die.
Yeah, it did some like really, it was something along them lines where like the last two cards, like, I don't know, Lot Left Giant Dread or something like that, and I had odd number of cards, so I couldn't combo off, and it literally took me, it was on video as well, so it is up on my channel if anyone wants to check it out. I was just going through it, I was like, I've got this, and I got the last three cards, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can't do this, because if your last cards have a Dread Return, or the one of Dread Return, or the one of Lot Left Giant, you can't discard it. Because
that's true. You put it in your hand. Where's it going to go? You're dead.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So that's what, and I think I knew that as well from the get go because I think
mulligan and you put it on the bottom.
I put it on the bottom. I was like, it's free. So yeah, that was fun. Deck's whacked.
Oh man.
What about yourself?
The next one. Oh man. Well, the backup combo. I think I had like a turn 3. That was pretty cool. I beat Terror somehow. I like that. But overall, it felt kind of medium.
Yeah.
The worst was like I had double combo, so I could Lot Left Giant them plus Fist of Flame, and my opponent had 3 Prismatic Strands, so I couldn't get there. The other deck, the next one, I did have a lot of really fun moments, which you probably did too, is Magmakin combo. So Magmakin Artillerist is like a 1/4 for I think 2 in a red, and if you can cycle it for 1 in a red, and whenever you cycle it or whenever you discard a card, it pings your opponent. So if you put like a draw effect on it, like Snake Umbra, is that it?
Yeah.
Or a Fidinai? Then every time you ping your opponent, you draw a card. So if you can have 8 cards going into your end step, you have to discard the hand size, and then you just ping them with the rest of your deck, which is quite fun. And I got a deck donation of this where it was like a Grixis Control, where you just like casting Lorien Revealed and evoking Muldrifters and like trying to scam them with Not Dead After All and stuff. And then you just have 8 cards at the end of your turn and you just ping them out. I love it.
Yeah, I played a few versions of this. I think I played this combo to death when it first came out. I don't generally tend to do the 8 cards thing. I'm usually a coward, and I go for having a discard effect. So like Aquamoeba, discard a card, switch its power and toughness, and Oblivion Crown is one that I've played a few times, which most people don't know what that is. It's a 1 and a black enchantment aura with flash, and you can discard a card to give this creature +1/+1, like the enchanted creature +1/+1. And I played like a Grixis control or a Grixis Wildfire sort of version of the deck. And Ophidian Eye has Flash Right, and so does the Oblivion Crown. So you can play the Magmakin and just sit there with the 2 other pieces in your hand ready, and then like they go to kill it, and you're like, I'll flash this in, and then it's like I'll flash this in, and it's like, oh, yeah, exactly. So much fun, honestly.
I played a very similar deck a couple of times, or probably many, many times, which before Ruby Storm was kind of a thing, which we'll touch on, I guess, in a second. It was just like, get a ping around to the table and put Snake Umbra on it, and then just cast a bunch of rituals, and your opponent dies. And it's just so satisfying to just continuously draw a ton of cards while you're comboing. You can't beat that. That's why I felt like Brute Scale combo was kind of boring, because you just win on the spot. It's just I'm here to take actions.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. A next one that's probably near and dear to your heart, right, is the Pilipala combo.
I enjoy Pilipala. You were the one that brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, this deck is pretty fun, right? The original version I seen was like a 5/0 league, and it was mono blue running. I say mono blue. It was every card in the deck was blue, but Pilipala, which is colourless, and then the other combo card, which is Careful Cultivation, which is green. And effectively what you do is you put the aura of Careful Cultivation on the Pilipala, and the Pilipala can untap. So Careful Cultivation makes it tap for 2 green. You can untap it for any colour, and you basically just make infinite mana and keep tapping it. But this deck was...
And then Una's Grace your opponent.
Yeah, and that was it. You just Una's Grace your opponent, which was like so weird. And you could run foil at this point as well. Like people were... Like foil wasn't massive at the time, so it was...
Oh, man. So now I actually think maybe that's the way to go, because you need free interaction.
Maybe it is.
That's funny.
Maybe we need to revisit
Pilipala as a little 1/1 scarecrow that doesn't look too bad, and then you just make infinite mana. It's just really cool. It's much more fun than like going big with a big old Chrysalis.
Yeah. I think the fun thing for me, I've definitely with that deck, because it was before Madness as well and before Lava Dart, I really like the idea of just going, here's a Pilipala, here's a Careful Cultivation on it, here's a Careful Cultivation on it. It doesn't have haste, so it has to survive a turn, but it has a really big bum, so you cannot do anything with it. It's like, I have got a big ass. You are not killing me. Straight up. Yeah. And it just like sits there and blocks forever. It's like, nothing to do. I've got a bunch of islands in my hand. I can't do anything, but it's okay, because you're not killing it. So,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Snuff Out was big lately. I don't know. We'll see. Lava Dart can be a bummer. Yeah. So that's why it's not tier 1 right now. Yeah. I think the main problem with the Pilipala combo is like in black green it would be better, but there's no like secondary payoff or like mid-rangey thing you can do in black green. You're not able to like play your Sadistically Witness combo there. Oh well. It's fun to do.
Yeah,
when you pull it off.
Definitely. You want to cover the next one? Another one near.
Yeah, the next one is it's just Storm combo, so you can't Grave Shot people anymore, but you can play Weather the Storm with a Marauding Blight Priest in play, and every time you gain life, the opponent loses a life. So if you can Weather the Storm 20 copies, then your opponent gets 20'd, which is amazing. I've played the crud out of that one as well, all over the place on my channel. It's very, very fun. And it was actually like when Chatterstorm got banned out of the format, all I did was slot in Weatherstorm Priest and kept 5-0ing because Galvanic Relay was so broken. All my favorite cards.
Yeah, Galvanic Relay was fun. Can you remember, was it Caleb? Is he called Caleb G or Caleb Gannon or something like that was used to be called?
Caleb Gannon.
Played the Relay Tron deck. That deck was
that was Birdman. Yeah. So Entropy 263 made the Relaytron deck. So it was just like all cantrips and Foundry Inspectors. And then he would just like draw his entire deck and then kill your opponent with Conjurer's Bauble plus Disciple of the Vault, which was wicked sweet. Then that's sort of like the genesis of the Eggstron deck that exists today. Caleb Gannon was like the premier janky combo creator of Pauper for a very long time. He created so many sick decks, and the biggest one was the Fischl brand, which was like using delve creatures plus energy tap and burnt offering to cast the 5-drop that draws per like CMC rush of knowledge. And oh man, just draw your whole deck and then like slam on kill your opponent with like a fireball of some kind. I tried making that deck work with affinity creatures, so you could just draw 7 with your Mirror Enforcers, and then eventually Blood Fountain all your Mirror Enforcers back and attack with like a first day of class. That was very fun, or a Fist of Flame. But it was a little slow, but it was very fun. There's just so many like really neat little weird things you can do in Pauper.
Yeah,
we just need a little less power level on the top end, and then these will all come up, rise to the top.
Again, the next one, also another deck. I'm seeing a theme here. Another deck that you've played quite a lot on your channel.
So this is Petal Festival, which is basically the same as High Tide. A lot of people, which is pretty interesting, did not know about this deck until High Tide existed. And now that they're sad that High Tide is gone, they're like, oh, Petal Festival, that's exactly the same thing. Petal Festival actually was one of the decks that brought me into the format. I saw somebody top-8'd RAW Hobbies with this. You enchant a land until it taps for blue, 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 and any extra that you can. And then you just combo off with Ideas Unbound, splicing, drawing, adding more enchantments, making a bunch of mana. And it used to win, so Petals of Insight, and then Market Festival on your land. And then you would use Dampen Thought while you use Petals of Insight like infinitely to mill your opponent. And then I discovered that it worked much better with Stream of Thought, basically in sometime in like 2021 or 2020. And I worked with Brian Cook a lot on the deck, and we developed like this really sick 8 cantrip version that was quite good. I like top-8'd, I don't know if I top-8'd a challenge, but I won a prelim, bunch of 5-0s. Brian was the first person to 5-0 with it because my 5-0 was before his, and it was in the time period, the dark ages, where they wouldn't post all of them. Yeah, and I got kicked. But this is going to be another video on my channel this week for Petal Festival. If anybody's interested in drawing a bunch of cards, every deck that I like to play draws a ton of cards.
Yeah, the man that likes to take many actions.
Yep.
Speaking of actions, rounds up quite nicely to another deck you've sort of developed as well. Right?
Yeah, so this deck is Gruul Storm. So this was something that sort of already existed in Pauper, but nobody had ever like tried to look into it. And in the summer when Ruby Storm became a thing in Modern, I was watching a lot of Aspiring Spike videos where he was playing Dragon's Rage Channeler to scry through his deck while he was like comboing, which would make you would put a bunch of cards into your graveyard, you would find your Passive Flames a lot easier, you would go off really quickly, and you would like never fizzle. So I created this version where you have Burning Prophet, which is a 1/3 that scries when you cast an instant or sorcery, and it gets power boosted. So you would just scry through your deck and never fizzle because you're never just like drawing lands, and that's like the main reason things fizzle in Storm. Now we've gotten a second copy of Electric Revelation, so we have 8 copies of that effect, which means the rummage version is actually better, where you rummage away some lands and then you cast an Electric Revelation from the graveyard, which ends up being mana or a card positive in your hand, so you don't end up like running out of cards in your hand. That one's pretty fun, and we saw a couple recent successes with it, so that's pretty sweet. Very, very fun, drawing your deck a couple of times and pinging your opponent out with Gutter Snipe. Can't go wrong.
I imagine a lot of people are pretty sick of seeing people die and Gutter Snipe nowadays. It's a bit more mainstream. But
yeah. Now when you see a Gutter Snipe on the other side of the table, you just concede.
Yeah. Our times have changed. But the other ones are a bit more niche, I would say. A lot more niche, actually. Which I think I'm going to go to this one first, because I think we've both done videos on this channel. I think we actually spoke about this deck together, right? Which is the Frilled Death Spitter. Is it Parish? Is it called? The combo, the enchantment?
We ended up going down some crazy road where we both thought this would be very good for some reason. I don't know why, but then we were on this brew fest trying to figure it out. So Frill Death Spitter like pings your opponent whenever it gets damage dealt to it. So if you can get it indestructible and just deal a ton of damage to it, then you're blasting your opponent. So we thought about doing it with Karkline Shaman, right?
Yeah, that was basically
sacrifice your entire board to the 20 your opponent.
Yeah, because you essentially just give it indestructible with quite a lot of random stuff. Put the enchantment on it, so whenever it deals damage, it gets dealt that much damage, something like that. And then effectively you ping for one, it then pings itself and goes off and all that sort of stuff. Or you can just give it, as I say, indestructible and just sack 10 things, and deal 20 to your opponent. It was pretty fun, but yeah, it was.
It sort of feels like the Storm deck. Anytime you put a lot of triggers on the stack.
Yeah, it was definitely fun for sure.
I don't. So the other one that you put up here, I don't actually know what it is.
Right. So this one is
combo.
Yeah. So this one's definitely a meme, 110% meme. Like obviously, of course, because even the combo expert doesn't know what it is. But it is. It's called Urban Daggertooth. Is the card, which is for 2 and a green, so 4 mana for 4/3 vigilance with enrage. Whenever it is dealt damage, proliferate.
Okay.
And then you put pestilence on the board, and you put a counter on the creature, the 4/3, and you play and then you play Pentab Prism, and then basically you remove a counter off your Pentab Prism, pay a black to deal 1 damage to the board, which puts a counter on your Daggertooth, which then puts a counter back on your Pentab Prism to then use the black to then keep going and going and going, and you basically kill your opponent with pestilence.
That sounds very fun.
It is very fun. I've yet to make a video with it because I've never pulled the plug on the deck, but it was very fun to sort of like goldfish.
I like the fact that you have an infinite combo there where you have infinite mana. You're always going to be pumping into the pestilence and the thing can't die.
Yeah.
That's cool. It just goes infinite. So as long as you have more life than your opponent, they're just dead. Mm-hmm. Unless they have like a strands or something.
Yeah, there is another Daggertooth as well, which
Ravenous Daggertooth says whenever it is dealt damage, you gain 2 life. That doesn't seem as combo-y to me.
No, but it does sort of mean you can kind of, with a counter on it, you can gain infinite life. So you're always on higher life if you keep proliferating that as well. So yeah, but that's obviously just. But yeah, it seems very fun, and it also has Pestilence, a very well-known favoured card on my channel, but obviously not for yourself because it's mid-rangey and boring. But yeah,
true.
The sort of last one that I've got here is sort of a list of all of them into one, because at this moment in time, this card just combos off with a ham sandwich, right? Evolution Witness basically is a card that you can return a permanent, and then if it puts a counter on the card, and there's lots of different ways this combos off, right? You can Ashnod's Altar, is it a Mer something? There's a card
There's some creature that's a 1/1 or 1. When it dies, it puts its counter on something else, like a modular situation or whatever. There's something like that where you can just get it back and make infinite mana.
Yep.
But all these, anytime you start going like 3, 4, 5 pieces, it's like, okay, it's not really going to work out for me. I actually saw, the one thing that you were playing a lot was Evolution Witness plus the Bannerhide Krushok to just keep making your Evolution Witness bigger with all your excess mana. It's just some mana sink, which was super fun. And then I saw a player playing sadistically Evolution Witness in Jund Wildfire, which is pretty interesting because you have all of your Writhing Chrysalises, right? And then think about just like playing Malevolent Rumble in that deck, where you just mill over a Chrysalis and you put the Glee on the Witness, and then you sacrifice a random spawn. You get back your Chrysalis, and you're just like spamming on the table, and then all the things that you mill over with Rumbler.
Yeah.
Weird, like, value engine.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's the name of the card? That black-white sort of decks used to play. The one and a white cat that returned an artifact that cost 1 or less, Leonin Squire or something like that. And you basically, that was like a value engine with Blood Fountain, right? Because you could return the Squire and another creature, and you sort of like could keep bringing back all your creatures.
I don't know if there's time to be value heavy in Pauper anymore.
Yeah, but that's sort of what it is, right? That's how I see that. It's just the 2 cards are absolutely sort of mid on their own, like Evil Witness and sadistically in Jump Wildfire, but when they're together, they're sort of a good value. But yeah, that's
Love a
sort
good value engine.
you know, well, everyone likes a little bit of value, for sure. Any other combos you do want to mention that are a bit like, these are obviously sort of forgotten, is how we're sort of stemming this, like obviously not widely played unless you obviously watch Cali or, I don't know, someone else on your daily channels. But
yeah. I had something in my brain, but I forgot it. And that's how it always goes.
Yep. Ain't nobody got time to remember things. But yeah, so we've got a few. There's obviously a couple of decks that sort of will look like they might make a resurgence. Obviously, there's like Tyler's Tribe, there's Cycle Storm, there's Goblin Combo might make a resurgence with these things. Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of cool combo decks that are already out there and sort of well established and well known. These are sort of just ones that I want to highlight, that in case you people were, you know, feeling empty without your High Tide and want to play some janky combos, you know, you can always.
Well, if you're a high tide player, you like taking all the actions. Yeah. So you have to play something like the Pedal Festival, the Gruul Storm, the Blight Priest combo. I ended up trying to mishmash Cycle Storm plus High Tide, or no, Cycle Storm plus Official Brand for a video, and it worked out pretty well, where I was playing the Chitin Gravestalker and Writhing Necromass as 1-drops that were 6 and 7 mana, and then casting Rush of Knowledge. It was pretty fun.
Sounds it.
I enjoyed that a lot. Not as good as Cycle Storm, but more fun.
Anything else to add?
I don't have anything. I think I just, anytime you can make a combo work a little bit is pretty cool. I got one person is having me do a deck donation with the Pili Pala combo, and they have a black-green list where you give it haste by having the wall that taps to give your creatures haste. So I'm interested in seeing if that'll work out. Because the main problem with the black-green in Pili Pala was that you could just never, you had to always pass the turn too many times.
Yeah. But you do obviously gain the benefit of having a lot more protection, right? You've obviously Duresses, Tamios, but you do have to pass the turn.
And Tamiyo's Safekeeping is one of the cards that can give your Frilled Death Spitter indestructible, I believe. Easy.
Double combo, Pili Pala, Frilled Death Spitter. And your Crackland Shaman doesn't kill your Pili Pala because it's got flying. What?
How many combos? But you just need a way to like draw cards faster, I guess.
Yep.
The main problem with combo decks tends to be the reliance on the different pieces. So that's why things like Spy are good. That's why things like the Brood Scale was good, because you have 2 cards that you need to put together, A plus B. And anytime it's more than 2 cards, you have to find them. And those cards are taking up slots in the deck. So you have no room to play the card draw to find the cards to actually win the game. Decks like Familiars just have a ton of card draw and a lot of stall power. So you'll see a lot of times the decks that I like to play, like Altertron or Poison Storm, they are what I like to call Weather the Storm piles, where you're literally just trying to survive and abuse Weather the Storm as a card in order to get to the late game where you finally find all your cards. So
basically, you just put a bunch of combo cards and cards that say draw a card, and then you get to the end and you're like, oh crap, how do I survive? And you go, 4 Weather Storms, that'll fix it. Don't worry.
Exactly, 100% of the time. All I have to do, I just have to live.
Yeah. How hard?
Terror can't deal enough damage if you have big Weather Storms, and Weather Storm makes you good against your mono red opponent that you will definitely queue into.
There you go, win-win. Foolproof. You heard it here first.
You take your card draw, you take your Weather Storm, and then you got 3 cards left over to combo with.
There you go. Easy as that. Anything else to add on the unforgotten combos or not played combos?
I don't think so. There's clearly some other stuff that people are probably hyped on their own. Stuff like Zubair combos are weird and fun.
Yeah, that's true. We've definitely missed some because the thing of Pauper is there's always some weird ass combos in everywhere. So, but yeah, if we've missed some, either tell us in the comments. Don't shout at us in the comments. We're only human, you know. We can only remember so many combos. But yeah. So let us know if we have forgotten some combos, because there will be some. There's probably like Gond combo. There's another one. Everyone loves some Gond combo.
Infinite 1/1s.
I heard you liked elves, so I've got you some elves. Moving on, right? So we've got some tournament news. So I'll quickly whiz through these tournaments. Obviously, all of them will be in the Discord. So if you are thinking and want to know about where events are, join the Discord. No matter where you are in the world, we are covering most places in the globe, over the left side of the pond and the right side of the pond in my consideration. So, which is pretty cool. So let's start 22nd of November, which is this weekend. Pauper Spezl 2 in Munich. 64 player cap with beautiful tokens. We've seen these tokens. They are wooden tokens. They look absolutely incredible. The link for that is in the description below. And then going over the other side of the pond this weekend as well is the RIW Pauper Championships at RIW Hobbies in Michigan. Link for that is in the description as well. And then the following week, we have the big one for me, or us in the UK, is Pauper Nationals, 29th of November at Secret Space in Birmingham. 210 player cap. I haven't had an update on what the ticket sales are, but it was like 140 or something last time, which is pretty nuts. Doing really well for a UK-based event, so that's pretty good. And there's a couple of new ones after that. On the run-up to Christmas, there's a Pauper 1K in Portland in the Mox Boarding House, 13th of December. Link is in the description, again, if you are interested. And you can also check it out on the Discord as well. And then finally, the Pauper Wonderland. This one seems like a really great one to attend if you can. 14th of December. There's going to be a collection for Neighborhood Aid and like a food pantry collection as well. So that's a really good thing to do on the run to Christmas, obviously for anyone in need as well. So it's always great. So link is in the description. So it's not only you get to play Magic, but you get to support people as well. And then just a couple bits of news which sort of Callie alluded to as well. It has been like this Pauper special challenge thing this week. Essentially, the run-up was to an event on Saturday, which was called the Championship Week Final. The winner basically won a bunch of prizes and got a special avatar for the top. Was it top 32? Did you say? That sound about right?
Right. It's the same as the showcase avatar for Pauper this year, but it has a different like note on it. Instead of like 2025, it says like Pauper Championship or something.
All right. Okay.
The funny tidbit is that currently it's not implemented, but they like gave it already. So Walker was able to assign his avatar to it, an avatar that just says placeholder. It's pretty hilarious.
There you go. So we've got from that, we've had challenges on Tuesday right through to Friday, all specials. And then the Saturday was the big event. Then we've got a normal Sunday challenge. So we're going to sort of try and cover them. Not in incredible detail, because obviously there's a lot of challenges to sort of cover, but we'll sort of highlight things that we want to talk about. So, Callie, do you want to go through the top 10 for Tuesday?
Sure. Tuesday, the 11th, was 48 players. This was a challenge special, a 32 challenge. I believe all the special challenges this week were 32 player mins. This one had 48 players. First was White Weenie. Second and third were Mono Blue Terror. Fourth place was a Flickertron. Fifth place, Cawgates. Sixth was Elves. Seventh, Spy Walls. Eighth, Demir Fey. Ninth, Demir Fey. And 10th was Poison Storm.
So where
anything stand out to you?
I think for me, the first one I kind of want to talk about here is just quickly on All Eyes on Me in fourth on Flickertron. I spoke to them last week because I seen they were trying at Una's Grace, which sort of alludes to obviously our Pillar Power combo from earlier. Una's Grace is an instant speed, 2 and a blue, target player draws a card, and it has Retrace. And Retrace is you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying into the costs. So you can basically pay 2 and a blue to draw a card yourself, and then later on in the game you can pay 2 and a blue and discard a land, and do it again. So in Tron, you have an absolute abundance of mana. You do get flooded. You know, once you've got, 3 towers, 2 mines, and a power plant or something in play, and a couple of islands or whatever, you kind of don't need any more lands, right? You've pretty much on infinite mana. So it's a good way of turning that extra lands in your hand into card draw. But it also doubles up as a win con in both Spy and also a win con in like Control Mirrors. Because you can cast it early, it's not great to cast early, just 3 mana draw a card. But in the late game, if you're against like Jump Wildfire or Grixis Affinity, you can just go, okay, we've had this draw card off, you've got 15 cards in your deck, I'll deck you. Here's a bunch of mana, I'll, make you draw 15 cards while you tapped out. And that was a very real thing that they said they could do.
Well, they're playing Stonehorn Dignitary in their deck, And there's some decks like Elves that die to a fog lock. So if you can stack up a bunch of combat locks, you can then spend a couple of turns just pointing things at your opponent, which works.
Yeah.
And then also they do have the Unwind Weather the Storm combo in their deck. So they could theoretically make infinite mana and deck their opponent with the targeted draw. But in other versions of Tron, people have played Compulsive Research for the same version, but this being an instant helps you to just like deck out your spy opponent, I suppose.
Yeah. I do think, it doubles up, right? Because obviously you do get rid of your land cards without wasting a flicker as well, which is sort of important. Because if you Compulsive Research, you have to flicker back the Compulsive Research and then cast it to then discard the lands, right? Where you can just discard the lands to draw a card, if you know what I mean. Which is pretty useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a pretty cool one.
The other one that I thought was cool was, well, in 8th and 9th, we have Dimir Fairies playing the Fairy Miscreant list. Oh, this 8th place was not playing Fairy Miscreant. Okay. So 2 different lists, but the new Barf Fairy Miscreant list coming in 9th from Barf. And then Skip Chino placing in 10th with the very, very stock version of Poison Storm. Looks like he just put it down, didn't touch it during the High Tide meta, and then brought it back.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as it always has been, which is funny.
Yeah. I really like this list. I do like the inclusion, basically the things that changed from when I last played it. I do like this Poison Storm list. Seems pretty sweet. And
in Poison Storm and in Familiars, Cryogen Relic has been both good and kind of medium, so they chose not to play that. No changes. Do what you know.
Makes sense.
Do you want to move on to the next day?
I just want to mention 5th place, there was Corgates, a deck that sort of took a massive back burner, I guess, through High Tide. And I think, obviously, it seems to be making a resurgence with, obviously, High Tide being gone from the format, which seems strange to me. But it seems to be making a resurgence, which will kind of follow through.
I think from a control mid-range perspective, that Corgates was one of the better positioned decks to be able to beat High Tide. So mostly because of Heapgate making treasures, stopping you from being able to Giga Drowse them.
Yeah.
But I think, it's well positioned versus Terror and Red, and then probably beats up the mid-range decks. So I think Mbani had been playing it a lot. It's interesting that Brivenix played it when they're normally a Fairies player.
Yeah. Move on to Wednesday. That seems weird to say.
So Wednesday was a 32-player challenge again. It barely fired. It hit exactly 32 players, so everybody got value, just the pure value. We also saw 100% of the metagame here. The first place was Jun Gardens. Second, third, and fourth, Grixis Affinity. 5th place, Mono Blue Terror. 6th place, Mono White Heroic. 7th place, Boros Synth. You're calling it Boros Moxite. That's our Boros Fanatic came in 7th, and then 8th, White Weenie. 9th was Rally Red, and 10th was Gruel Ramp. So I believe the Boros Moxite list. Oh no, I'm on the wrong one. Oh no.
Too many challenges.
That was in 7th. Okay. I'm back in the game. Vishino Peruano, which I can never say their name. I believe they made like top 16 of the RCQ too, with this exact same list with 3 relics in the main. They've got the Beta Reunion in the middle of the Moxite. We talked about it on the last episode. Exact same list, I believe. I
played this as well for a video because the deck really interested me because I really like Moxite and Snagger.
What'd you think?
I think it's fine. It's pretty good. I just don't like the removal from the last week's when we talked about it. The removal seems very random. It's like 3/3/3 when I played it. They've now added a Destroy Evil, which seems like it might make it better, but I don't like that the split of 3 Galv Blast, 3 Bolts, 3 Journeys, when Galv Blast felt like it was barely turned on because they don't run barely any artifact lands. They've got 2 Ancient Den, 2 Great Furnace, so it was never really turned on in the early game. But yeah.
Oh well.
Other than that, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
They seem to know what they're doing. I would trust them.
I'm just bad, clearly.
Sometimes you just don't know how to pilot the deck the way they do. They have a certain style, and they've manipulated it to that style, and then you're like, oh, I'll pick it up and play it. And you're like, I don't have a single idea what's going on here.
I don't like taking
All the tech
actions.
pieces.
That's it.
Pick it up, put it back down. I used to play Borosynth was one of the first decks I played in Pauper as well. It was very fun. Pick stuff up, put it down, draw cards. Don't think there's anything crazy else going on in this challenge.
No, we've obviously got Grill Ramp sort of highlighted of, making a thing here. It's kind of disappeared last week, but nothing too out of the ordinary, right? It's nothing too crazy. All this.
It's hard to say if it's crazy or not. They've got some Soggy Wildlings, some Boarding Party, which is not super standard. A couple of Ram Through, only 3 Malevolent Rumble. Once again, the pilot just kind of choosing to do things seemingly at random, but probably on purpose.
Yes.
What about on Thursday?
Yeah, fine to move on.
Another 32-player challenge, this time with 50 players, almost to the regular weekend that people were used to. First place, Mono Blue Terror. Second and third, John Wildfire. Fourth place, Black White Blade. So congrats to them. Fifth was Cawgates. Sixth with Red Sly. Seventh, Spy Walls. Eighth, Mono Red Madness. Ninth, Mono Blue Terror. 10th, Boros Moxide again. Was it the same person? This is what I have to know. 9th,
yes.
10th. Yes, it was. So he had a week off from work, I guess. Or maybe realized that this was better than grinding leagues.
Yeah. Exact same list as well, right?
Yeah. So the Red Sly is the same Inventor's Axe list as before with the Goldhound, bunch of 1-drops.
Yep.
Doesn't look like anything crazy in the Cawgate list.
Nope.
Just looking at the Black White Blade, they are playing 3 Pact Terrors, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Can close down the game if you're playing your Dirtily deck. Blood picking up and putting down a Grim Bauble. They have Tithing Blade, a single Okiba Gang. So this one's not as heavily centered on just discarding your opponent out. It's sort of just a regular old value deck.
Yeah, which is quite nice. I don't hate that. I do like the idea of Pact on this list. 3's probably a bit much, but I don't hate it. What
do we think about the Friday? You want to move on to Friday?
I just want to mention, which we sort of talked about before we started the podcast, which was Luminatium first on Terror, right? They decided
right.
They on the yesterday, on the day before, they were playing Delver in their Terror list, right, where they came 5th. But then they decided to cut the Delvers again and run the 2 Murmuring Mystics and 2 other cards, and basically run the Murmuring Mystic Delverless build and come first.
Monday, they played the Delver list with a top 4. And then on Thursday, Delver lists with the 8 Snakes and 2 Murmuring Mystics coming in first. They probably know the difference. I don't. They have a very clean-looking list with 4 of all their instants, 4 Counterspell, 4 Force Spikes specifically. And then their interaction spells are 2 Deem and 2 Sleep of the Dead. A couple of Deep Analysis gives them a little bit of more grind power. And then their sideboard is a lot of tech pieces. Wonder why people are still playing Envelop. I guess Envelop is good against Mono Red Madness and Red Black Madness Burn that are casting a lot of sorceries to get value.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of sorceries knocking around, right? Even at worst case scenario. You always say you've got all the madness stuff. You've got obviously Dread Return to some extent. Even Sleep, I guess. Not that you really want to be counting your opponents.
Yeah. Sorry, I got bright out. On the video right now, I just look like a big pile of white, shiny. It's very, very bright all of a sudden. That doesn't usually happen here in central New York.
What's that big ball in the sky?
It hurts.
Put it away. Would you like to move on to Friday?
All right. Let's make sure that I'm looking at the right thing. Yes. Okay. Friday, we have 66 players. So breaching the 64 player. And then we have first place Black Green Gardens, second Mono Red Madness, third Grixis Affinity, fourth was and fifth were Spy Elves, sixth was Cawgate, seventh of Flickertron, eighth Demir Fey, near misses in ninth of Grixis Affinity, 10th John Wildfire. Let's go. So Noob came in first with a Campfire Gardens. No Avenging Hunters in the main deck or even anywhere in the deck.
That seems to be the sort of thing though, right? They don't like to. They like to go hard with the Crypt Rats and the Campfires. They don't generally tend to Go hard mode. The Avenger.
This is one of those decks that I would just lose my mind playing. It's just I can't bring myself to do this.
It's quite funny that you like to take a lot of actions, but you want to do them all in one go. As soon as it comes to doing those actions over 75 turns, you're losing your mind. It's quite funny observation. Well,
yeah. It's really just mid. I think I could probably handle it. Mid range is where I fall apart. I think aggro makes sense to me. I guess mid range is one of those high skill area where you have to identify the board state at every moment. And I'm not ready for it.
It's a black art.
Yeah, I liked the second place Mono Red Madness. They played 16 creatures, 8 pingers, 4 snacker, 4 epicure, and they chose to cut 1 main deck Faithless Looting for the 4th Gutter Snipe out of the normal like stock list. Sideboards here are still like all over the place. I don't know. People playing like Cast Into the Fire doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
They're playing Fairy Macabre and 4 Relics. Like, I don't know. I guess they really, really wanted to deal with graveyards. I just don't think that is necessary most of the time.
No. Yeah, it does definitely seem all over the place, right? You don't necessarily need to answer artifacts, so why are you playing Cast and Fire? I can sort of understand wanting to tone down elves a little bit. You know, so they've got 3 ends, but then, like, why do you want 3 Cast and the Fires along with that? That seems like an excessive amount for elves.
Speaking of elves, I thought it was Spy Walls, but it's actually Spy Elves over here in 4th place from Size Wars.
I know. I was gonna get to that. Don't worry. You've that's the hill I will die on. You know, Spy Elves is the greatest of all, obviously. But seems like a sweet list. Moving on to Zaz's Spy Elves, pretty sweet. They're on 3 Nick Spawns, 3 Timberwatch, double combo, like as in double Dread Return, double Giant. They're on Jasper Sentinel and Birchlaw Rangers, which is quite interesting. Just allows
makes sense to me.
Allows them to have multicolored cards in the sideboard that's not black.
Plus, Birchlaw Rangers lets you dump your hands so much faster.
Yeah,
to pressure them with the Timberwatch.
Yeah, it is interesting. There is give and take, right? Like Birchlaw lets you, when you're going off, dump your hand fast. Like, so once you've kept your priest alive and you've sort of got a ball lot of mana, you can Birchlaw out a bunch of stuff. But then before that, you can't go mana. It's a lot harder to go like mana dork to have access to a bunch of mana because the one guy makes. Do you know what I mean? The one guy makes all the mana as opposed to It's not entirely.
Jasper Sentinel is a 1/2 butt though. So does that make a difference in your opinion?
I do wish Jasper Sentinel Birchlaw Rangers was successful for me, but it was like the first initial thing that I did. I tried like 3 leagues with like Birchlaw Jasper Sentinel, and them not netting mana on their own really did hinder the potential of the deck. And the mana dork was like a lot more important. But I'm surprised that they obviously went to this because a lot of the Spy Walls people are like going to like actual mana dorks as well.
Yeah. The interesting about like those lists with actual mana dorks is they seem just as fast even though they're playing 5 lands because just have more extra mana randomly like do the land fetching.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I might have to give the Birchlaw Jasper Sentinel a go again. The one thing I don't like is the only 7 Windaway effects. They've got 4 Windaways and 3 leads. I often feel like you want 9 if you can, so it's blasphemous for me to see 7.
Yeah. Why would you cut on the best part of the deck, which is the card draw?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see anything else crazy in the top 10 cards. Zio Francone was playing more like the Cryogen Relic Flicker list.
Yep.
So 3 Ghostly Flicker. I don't see any Ephemerates. But they made some weird trims, 4 Prism, and then 3 Relic, 3 Refractor with 3 Expedition Map, only 18 lands, and 3 Lorien Revealed. This guy, I tried playing this list with 18 lands, and I just felt like you were never, ever, ever keeping a hand. So I think if you have the heart of the cards, you can get there. Only 1 Crop Rotation and 3 Expedition Maps with 18 lands. Crazy.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I do like the idea of cutting down on maps, though, to be fair, to some extent. I know All Eyes on Me only plays like 2, right? And then goes higher, has 2 Crop Rots, 2 maps, 2 Crop Rots, and 19 lands. Which sort of seems a lot cleaner, right? Because the Crop Rot does a lot more later on in the game, and the map sort of can find the remote isle later on in the game?
Yeah, it's just tough when you're It's tough when you're playing Tron because you really need Tron online quickly. And Expedition Map in your hand is sort of like an anything card and gets you the Tron, gets you a land. Later in the game, it's a terrible draw, but cutting them from the deck makes like your deck way less consistent. So it's very confusing. I think it's better personally to just like get to your engine, start drawing cards, and then if you're drawing a tons of cards, who cares if you have extra random noise? You just need to like get to the point where you're accumulating resources. Maybe that's my perspective.
I think it depends on the Tron deck, though, right? Like I agree with like Alter, for example, because that's what you want to do. You want to get your engine on, you want to start going. But like a deck like this, you need cards that find you answers. So like obviously your impulses, your teachings, all find you a specific answer for that. Because you're not trying to win the game, you're just trying to stop your opponent from winning, and then you'll win the game later on. But I can see having a dead draw be a map later on. Later on in the game can be game losing, right? Where at least crop rot can turn into something, right? It can turn into a bog, it can turn a pylons into a mystical teaching, so it kind of has that utility,
right?
Where map sort of does not many. Like if you draw 2 maps, you're probably a bit screwed because you've already got rid of the remote isle. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting as far as a boring deck like Flickertron goes, anyways.
Truth. I feel bad. Some people like to play boring decks like Green Black Gardens and Flickertron. It's okay.
Yeah, you do your thing.
Just
anything that you want to cover on the Friday, or was it the Saturday you want to cover something outside?
That was Friday. We can move on to Saturday if you're good.
Yeah. I'm getting lost in all the challenges. There's so many.
Just scrolling forever. Infinite challenges. It's a good thing, I guess, but it's also rough. So Saturday was the regular Pauper challenge was replaced by this championship week finals challenge thing. It was a 32 player minimum, I think.
Yeah.
No, it was a 128 player minimum.
Oh, right. Okay. 228.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So the prizes of it were the same as the RCQ that happened last week, but no like invites to anything. So first place was Mono Blue Terror, second place was Spy Walls, third place was Poison Storm, which was a surprise, but fourth place Mono Red Menace, fifth Demir Fey, sixth Red Black Menace, seventh Jund Wildfire, eighth Jeskai Wildfire, ninth was Pingerburn, and 10th was Coggates. So the third place Poison Storm was a player I'd never seen before, taking the exact list from Skipchino earlier in the week. So maybe they just ran super hot, or maybe they're like a really, really, really good player of Poison Storm. I tried this list earlier today, basically, and I still think you die really badly to Tolarian Terror, and I don't think you're fast enough to live for most of the time versus Mono Red Madness. So I'm having trouble placing this deck in the metagame, though I'm happy to see it. It's always pretty sweet. Yeah,
I think it's an interesting one, right? Because I think this deck has, with the right matchups, it's like unbelievable, right? With all this mid-range stuff going on, like there's a chance you could just run hot this entire time, right? Which is fine, like great. You know, Jump Wildfire, Coggates to an extent. You've got Gardens, which is free. I'd say any other non-madness aggro deck, right? Like Mono Red Madness, you don't want to really see. It's a bit awkward. But you've got Rally Red, which is probably pretty free. Pingerburn, that was in 90s, sort of free. He's free as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, these are... They're not as bad. Like, Madness is obviously the worst one, for sure. But I think Rally Red gets a lot better, because obviously, like, the moments pieces out the board get a lot better. As well as...
It's tough to figure out the sideboard plan, really.
But yeah,
it's a fun deck. And if you pair into Gardens or Jund Wildfire, you just have to get you to cackle. Yeah. Like, I'm so excited for this. It's like a 99% matchup for Poison Storm.
Yeah, I played it, obviously, Pauper again when we went in March, and I think I versed Gardens like round 3 or 4, and they're like, is it true that you're... Because they listened to the pod as well, and it's like, are you actually playing Poison Storm? And I was like, yeah. And I played Scariel Woodlot, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to play this out just so we can have a conversation here, but I am literally, this is awful matchup, and I was like, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, this is good fun. At least I can have a conversation with a listener.
Would you like to concede and we can go get a beer? You know how this is going to go.
I had a beer
Let's
in my
not
hand,
waste
so I
our
was
time.
happy.
The first upstate New York Pauper Open, Mitch was playing the whole time with a beer like sitting on the counter behind him. He was like, play his elf, turn around, drink, go back.
Yeah.
I was like, you're crazy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We had a beer at 9:45 in the morning before we sat down. That was great. Nothing wrong with that.
Just relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all for fun. I want to talk about the 8th place Jeskai Wildfire deck. A deck that's sort of come back from the grave from nowhere. Like, I can't actually believe this is seeing play, but... And
I think that it's just that Chaotic MTG has been consistently making trophies and stuff. So, and I know they they sell the guide or something. So that's probably where it came from.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a bit more sense. I think Chaotic had done quite well with it, like a couple of leagues, but I hadn't really thought it was like too crazy to, for this. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's nothing too out the ordinary, right? They've got a bunch of one-offs. They've got one-off Thraben Charm, one of Union, third path, which is fairly normal. One Dispel, one Destroy Evil, which is, again, all fairly normal. They are playing an Angel Song, which I think you said beforehand it was from another
player. I'm looking at this player's history from Bruno Guerra. They have been playing Legacy for the past year, not touching Pauper whatsoever. And then the last time they touched Pauper was last week, just leading up to it, and they played Jeskai Ephemerate for a 5-0, and then they went 8th.
Right, okay.
They used to play Fairies, John Gardens. They've been playing. They have a lot of events with Beanstalk Control and Legacy, and then they had one Pauper 5-0 in May, and then back again with Jeskai Ephemerate. So maybe this was just a cards I own decision.
Yeah. Like, the deck seems always pretty sweet. I'm always surprised that no one's really playing it, especially when Jump Wildfire has such high success rate, and also Familiars. It's like a blend of them both, so it's interesting.
Yeah. It's one of those decks where if you get your turn 2 Wildfire, you can't be stopped.
Yeah, that makes me sad for the... did you see on a tangent, did you see the Avatar card that they had said they'll print another Destroy Target Land for 1 and a red, and everyone was thinking it was going to be another Cleanse and Wildfire? And then
can you imagine?
They made it uncommon. It did exist, but it was for opponents, right? And then it was an uncommon or something. And I was like, oh, this is very...
If it were a functional reprint, it would destroy Pauper.
You reckon? Everyone consistently wildfiring on 2.
You just had, every single person would be playing a Wildfire. It would change. The mana base for every single deck would be exactly the same. Because why not?
Arkham's Astrolabe 2.0.
Bring it back.
But yeah, going back
it's
to
so
this...
funny because...
Oh, go on.
Oh, Astrolabe, I was like, this card needs to be banned. And as soon as it's banned, I'm like, oh, I miss casting Arkham's Astrolabe. And I think that always is the way it is. I'm sure people have hate for some of the cards that have been banned, but it's that you want it gone in the moment, but once it's gone, you're sad because it's never coming back.
Yeah, true way to look at it. But yeah, just to touch on, obviously, to finish off on this deck, it looks like it's running Mystical Teachings in the sideboard, but it's absolutely not. It's got about a bazillion one-offs. 1 Annul, 1 Beb, 1 Breath Weapon, 1 Copblue, 1 Dispel, 1 Godpharaoh's Faithful for some life gain, 2 more Hydros, 2 Pyroblasts, a Reb, a Stonehorn, a Thraben Charm, and 2 Dust to Dust surrounded off. It's like, it might find these cards.
Well, I mean, I think they did this partially on purpose because some things cover other things. So Dispel and Hydroblast can be similar. Dispel is also similar to Pyroblast. They have 3 of the blue blast effects and 3 of the red blast effects. They have a Thraben Charm. They have Faithful that works versus... So they're sort of covering multiple angles with some of them. And then if you have all these one-ofs, you can kind of manipulate your draws with your brainstorms. And then your Augur Bolus.
Yeah.
It's still kind of sketchy, but
you've also got the the Tom Ross sort of analogy, right? With all the one-offs.
I'll always draw it.
Always draw it. You always got to play around it.
If you want to see a card, you should just play one of it. You always goes into the opening hand if you play exactly one.
That's definitely a combo player's perspective of always drawing that win con when they're trying to not got the combo in hand.
Yeah. Not again.
Oh. Anything else to cover this 188 player event? In particular, in the top 10, I'm assuming not.
I don't think so. So there was a player inside out from the Florist May 20th. So that was cool. That's just a very stock inside out list, but they're playing 3 whiteout, which is actually not that stock, I guess, with 1 wedding invitation and 4 escape tunnel. And then they have no other ways of giving it, whatever it's called, unblockable.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing 2 Lauren's Escape in the main deck, which can stop you from dying to a Lava Dart because you just give your creature indestructible and then you switch the power and toughness.
Yep.
And I don't see anything else crazy in the top 32.
Yeah, it was a really sweet to see, like, the event, right? Obviously be so big and all this sort of stuff and have a run up with all these challenges. It was a really cool thing to see, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that they gave a Pauper like a big week like this. I wish that they would just, like, on non-showcase seasons for these showcase formats, I think that it would be really cool if they would do like a format championship instead of just that doesn't go anywhere, that doesn't go to the mocks or whatever, that doesn't give mocks points, doesn't need to be doing anything, just has like a format championship avatar or whatever. That would be cool. I hope that Magic Online does that someday.
Yeah,
but I know that they can't just give every format showcase all the time because they have to be able to have the limited events that push into the mocks because those make them tons of money.
But yeah, these lists we have obviously still got the Sunday. These are all these. In case you aren't aware, we do have all the links to all the challenges in the description as well. So if you do want to just generally follow along, for sure, because there's a lot.
I felt like we were really building up the whole week, going to the championship on Saturday, and now we're like, oh, and there's one more that we'll just kind of
exactly. Which again is not a bad one. Sunday's usually the normal one. I'm going to put in air quotes. It always looks like the big meta one because it's always loads of Terror or loads of Grix of Inning or loads of Jump Wildfire and stuff. But it's actually not too bad this week, to be fair. If you want to go through that one.
All right. So first place, Jump Wildfire. Second place, Red Black Madness. Third place, Grixis Affinity. Fourth place, Mono Red Madness. Fifth and sixth, Gardens. Seventh place, Spy Elves. Eighth, Scred, Blue Red Scred. And then near misses, ninth, Jun Wildfire. 10th, Mono Red Madness. And then there was some spice as well. You highlighted the Scred player. So that's eighth place, Kiki Gigi. Playing.
Say that 10 times over.
Looks to be a pretty stock Blue Red Scred. Yeah, basically just ride your Murmuring Mystic and your Commodore Monarch until you win. Yeah,
it's just basically obviously we haven't seen this Blue Red Scred for a while. We haven't seen Spock make any top 8 with it, but obviously I'm assuming everyone thinks it's very mid-rangey now, the meta, but still needs to have access to be able to kill the red decks, and that's sort of where this sort of comes in, right? You've got like Fiery Cannon, Breath Weapon style effects, you've got a lot of bolts and Screds, a lot of early interaction, and then obviously good strong cards like Terra, Mystic, and Commodore, which just take over the game, right? So it's always always cool to see these sort of mid-range decks like this, and the Jeskai Wildfire sort of make a resurgence, and Corgate as well, which I sort of alluded to earlier. I think it's been featured in like 3 of the 5 or 6 challenges, which is pretty cool to see. All these decks make a resurgence.
One thing that I do want to point out is that Marzaboy came in 30th playing Mono Red Madness. He's really, really abandoned his dredge roots.
It's so sad. So sad for me.
Out of here. They're playing Melded Moxide over Faithless Looting, but they only managed a 3-3, unfortunately. I wonder if they just bailed, because this other player managed 3-4, so that means that they dropped their last round and still place higher than the 3-4 player. Unfortunate. Sorry, buddy. Cosmic Charles managed 15th with a 4-3 record playing his Ruby Storm deck, which has 9 cost reducers, the 9th being a Nightscape Familiar. And then the win conditions in his deck are 2 Stream of Thought and 1 Seize the Storm. You can use a Stream of Thought on yourself to put your flashback cards in the graveyard and then get back in some of your action spells like Glimpse the Impossible or your Seething Songs, and has a lot of play. He's a aficionado of this deck. He's probably the one that plays it the most, probably in the world. So he was saying that he thinks it's a good format for him right now.
All right. It's pretty interesting take on the deck, obviously. Interesting. Obviously, they decided they need 9 familiars. Pretty cool. I guess it's fairly free, right? Because obviously they're playing the... Oh, I guess that one doesn't actually tap for black. Never mind.
Most of the time, the deck goes off when you have you need 3 cost resistors to really go off. And you really need 1 to get going. So that's why he's going on 9, I believe. I would be interested to see if we could sort this by the colors. Let's see. It's mostly non-blue in the top. There's only 1 blue deck with Is It Terror. So I don't know how Mono Blue Terror is doing in the metagame right now, or if people are just like, hey, we're mid-ranging, yay. Is Jund good against Mono Blue Terror? I assume yes. Because Illuminati's over here in 23rd with the Mystic build.
I don't know.
I guess Jund.
It's an interesting one, right? Because I think I imagine Murder Mystic obviously helps against the mid-range decks, for sure. Like, obviously it gives you that longevity. But I don't know in terms of how it would feel against, like, just generally Terror. Like, how if they get an early Terror, can they really come back? They've got to me, it's only Crackling Shaman that gets it back, right? Obviously, or Writhing Chrysalis to survive. So, I guess it all depends on... I would say it's probably... I wouldn't say it's favoured either way, right? Would be my first thought. I don't have any data on this, but it would be how fast do they get Terror and how fast do you get Writhing Chrysalis, Cleanse, and Wildfire? Would be the argument. I would say it's probably 60-40 in one way or the other. Would be my thought.
I think neither of us have enough experience to know is the real answer.
Exactly. But obviously, I'm just trying to surmise how I would imagine it to go down, right? Which is interesting. It's an interesting thought experiment to see if I would imagine I would bet the side of Terror if I was, but I imagine it's probably both pilot dependent.
For sure. You have another thought?
No, I think I'm good for all of those challenges. If we're all complete,
that's a load off then.
It's been I think we've obviously been time bound as well because we've been going for about an hour and 10 minutes now.
That's okay. We can keep moving on.
Yeah, so that's if you want to obviously join the Discord, give us some feedback, what you thought, or even comment on the YouTube video or the thing, obviously how you felt that we went through, because there was a lot of information. Obviously we can learn from it, maybe even not had a Pauper thought or something, maybe. I don't know. I'd like to hear your thought on what you think. But I like that thought. I like the conversations about the cool reminiscent combos that we've played badly. I
love it.
Moving on for some hot takes for last week, just to round things off. If you would like to start with Mitch's here.
Mitch said, regardless of whether or not anything gets banned, the format's makeup will remain unchanged. I think that's mostly correct. We saw a lot more Jund Wildfire that I think people might have been afraid to play Jund Wildfire quite so much, but it felt like there was a lot of it. Once again, I don't really have the straight up data, but if I go to the decks on Goldfish and then I go to Pauper and sort by last 7 days, it looks the exact same as the last 30 days. So I think nothing's changed.
Yeah, I could see that.
Basically the same.
Yeah, you've got obviously...
Like Tide wasn't even on... Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at the 7 days. 30 days. So Tide was not on the front page of Goldfish in the last 30 days. So I guess that's just the way it is. Let's see, 90... Oh, no, maybe they removed it because it was banned. That makes more sense.
That definitely sounds... but yeah, I don't think it's necessarily remained unchanged, right? You've still got the generic mid-range versus aggro, and then you've got combo in air quotes, which is actually just spy, really. But yeah, there's obviously some more mid-range decks coming through that are trying to battle out the mid-range, it seems, but they're just one-off cases here and there, like Jeskai Wildfire and Gardens is turning up a bit more. You've got Blue-Red Square and stuff, but nothing massively. Like, we're not, making new archetypes. The next hot take was from Hardmaster Dave. Said that the red slide deck is the truth and it will see a top 8 this week in challenging. We have had a lot of challenges and we've seen one in, was it the Friday or something? It was some Oh, no, it was the Thursday, which is pretty cool. I think the deck's pretty strong. Be interesting to see if it does develop or change it anywhere, but the deck seems fairly strong. It's just another red deck in the mix, I guess.
Yeah. If your playstyle is going to be one where you're able to pilot that successfully, it could be another one to play.
For sure.
On to
your hot take?
I said Terra will make top 4 in every challenge next week. That didn't happen exactly. It mostly did, but there were 55 challenges, so it didn't get into every single one.
It's quite a funny hot take that you chose to use the words of every challenge, and then they went, here's 5 more challenges.
Oh, no. I wonder, so let's see. 1 miss, make. I'll just count the number of makes. 1, 2. Yeah, 5th place on 1. 3. So 3 out of 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 6. So half the challenges have made top 4 with a couple of wins.
Not bad, not bad. And my hot take was that the Mycocid Spore Tender build of Spy Walls become a mainstay, and all the Spy Walls didn't run the Demir House Guard package and stuff.
Nobody believes Alessandro Piracini.
Nobody believes.
He has the chops.
No one likes paying 3 extra mana and then an additional 2 extra mana for a Naturalize, clearly.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah, me too. Play the cool version. The next one will obviously, the one that you said last week is No Jun Wildfire will top 8 Paupergeddon next week. We'll track that obviously for next week because we'll do a Paupergeddon / Nationals build-up episode, obviously, because that'll be the following weekend. So do you want to do hot takes for next week? If you want to start.
Okay. I don't even know what this is. Purple Penthipus will debut in Mono Black Sack next week.
So I didn't actually know what this was either until I asked them. It's from The Last Airbender, so all of these will be Last Airbender related, let's say. And it is 1 black for I think it's a 1/2. And it's when it enters Surveil 1, and then you can pay 2 and a black, tap an untapped creature you control to return it to your hand, is it?
Which says return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Oh, return to your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's basically like the returny skeleton thing, the 3 mana return skeleton thingamabobby, but it's a
Yeah. I don't think that's I'm hesitant on that one.
Yeah, me too. But
it's a lot of mana.
Yeah.
But maybe.
The next one I have got is from David Royale. Check out their channel if you are interested. Lessons will be played in other non-first day class decks next week, which sort of alludes to, obviously, your hot take.
I think that we're going to see a combo deck playing Learn Lesson in the top 32 of one of the challenges. We're going to see it hit the big time.
Top 32.
Oh. Yeah, so all you need is a 32-player challenge, exactly. And then you play whatever your jank it is.
Mine is, weirdly enough, sort of on the same vein, which is Hunt for Specimens is the card, I'm sure. Is what it's called. 1 to black, make a 1/1 pest learn. Will be in the main deck of one of the top 8 deck lists and a lesson sideboard. Next week?
I think so.
So we've got a lot of lessony learn sort of things, obviously for avatar based, and then we'll obviously cover Paupergeddon, maybe even do a prediction list of what we think's the top 8's gonna look like maybe next week. Who knows? You'll have to listen to check it out. Anything else to add?
I don't think so right now.
So guys, thank you all for your continued support. Thank you if you have enjoyed this podcast. Please do not forget to share it with your friends, your family, your local Pauper community, and even your veterinarian. That is all from us at Casting Commons. Until next time, and don't forget to stay hydrated. Peace!
Peace. Bye.